Excellent. Well, it is now part of the stream being
Wonderful.
I wonder if I have any other audio going in the background.
Pardon?
Just wondering if I have audio going in the background. Because I have a bunch of tabs open. Should probably be fine, whatever. Yeah.
I can let you know if I hear anything in the stream if you'd like.
Yeah. Are you gonna hop on YouTube or do you want me to also open up Discord?
I'll be, so I only have a phone and the Xbox, so I figured, listen through Xbox and then watch through phone. That's what I'm currently thinking. So.
That doesn't answer the question. YouTube or Discord?
YouTube.
Okay. Okie dokie. So the stream's probably going to be behind a little bit, mind you, too. So you're going to have to contend with that as well.
It's fine.
But to start with, dying isn't cool, so tuck the Jenny underneath. You know, theoretically, could also swap to the gas gen. Because actually, you might be able to tuck both of your things underneath. That'd be cool. Your third auger isn't centered right now. Are you aware of that?
I'm gonna go with the plan was to add the fourth auger, but I have no proof of that.
Do you have a fourth auger yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, if you had more augers, I don't actually know what the plan would be for fitting them on this. I think unfortunately you'd have to tuck stuff again.
Oh, can't confirm. It just sounds like Crossout music in your stream.
Excellent. I'm just going to roll with the 3 augers set up right now because it's what you have on the build. And then as far as the gas gen and like 4th auger, that would probably be a like above 10,000 power score situation. So
okay. Yeah, sounds good. I can dig it.
Mind you, for all the use that this is going to be, if and when you eventually, hopefully, end up swapping to a different cabin that can actually hold the kaiju without borking immediately.
Yeah. Also sort of works out because it doesn't look like I have a gas gen right now, so yay!
Fair enough. Yeah, well, I mean, the big thing is just tucking stuff underneath, and like this, I mean, I've been saying this for like literal months. Because it's pretty easy to do. It's literally just a yeet the stuff underneath situation. And hopefully don't get them shot lol. That's right, they changed the hitboxes. Okay, well I'm gonna start with the other side because it's easier. Well, voila, just like that, your Jenny is now undermounted and less likely to explode.
Yay!
More likely to get shot off from the front. But, I mean, I don't think anybody's literally ever tried going through your train plow underneath, right?
Not that I recall. They all know the build too well, and the sides are squishy.
Yeah. Well, that's just the Bastion in general for you. But basically, can tuck stuff under on both sides. You're running the iris now, right? Instead of the scope?
I haven't swapped it over yet, but I do have it, so yes.
Okay.
I will be moving.
Well, that's a lot more convenient too, because then you don't have to worry about having the scope actually like slapped on anywhere specifically. So have a couple of options on this side. For one, it's narrower. I guess you could probably cheat everything else out more. Assuming you're not opposed to having a big build.
Beefy's cool.
Because if I push it one over... Oh, well, no, that doesn't work, because then the bastion's only 4 wide, and then the auger gets moved over in the center. So I'd have to wrap frames around the back and front, and then your build gets longer, and then if they shoot the frames, then you lose your entire build, so let's maybe not do that. Struggles of the bastion. Unless, actually, does the underpile have... No, of course not. Just 4 wide for... What are you doing? 4 wide, yeah. Struggle. Not that I'm necessarily suggesting it, but you could probably also get away with remaking this build with omnis, to be honest.
Oh, that's
Problem
interesting.
is, you'd need a lot of omnis.
I got like 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Because each of them are half an auger, basically. So if you get 8 of them, you would be pretty much golden. That being said, you also lose the whole melee aspect for when you inevitably get gimped.
It happens.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm going to operate on the assumption that we're actually going to still, I think, want to tuck it up behind the plow, but just lower.
Okay.
Or sorry, yeah, lower. Because that way, it should be really hard for them to hit it, because they'd have to strip your side armor and then shoot at something that's 1 high.
Okay.
The alternative is pushing it down all the way. But I am worried with how that will interfere with frames. Or, what are the other options? That's 6. So, could do that. Push it back to make the sides symmetrical with the frames. And the cabin's in the way. Well, if you wanted a nice little 2x6x1 nook, you could have that, but I don't think that's particularly useful in the current situation. Guess we could also always just take off the fuel barrel, put it somewhere sacrificially or something. But I think having the iris and the radio together for just like a 2x2x4 module would probably be the way to go for that. For this is what I was talking about for the suggestion for the back, by the way. I was doing that and then armoring around it.
Oh, okay.
And you could also just get rid of the, oops. extra piece, just have the one single piece and then attach it like that, because then that lets you have an even number of pips along the side until you get to the giggle. So you have a length of 12 here on the inside behind the plow rather than a length of 11 with the buggy frame sticking out.
Oh, okay.
Are you like super dead set on wanting the kaiju to be higher though so that you can aim lower?
I prefer it. I am willing to give it a
Because like if you're fighting somebody who's your same height or lower, it doesn't hurt, but I mean pushing it up is also easy enough. It looks really sleek like that.
Yeah, I'm good to give this one a shot for now. But like when I'm at a distance, it's a little bit easier to have the option to move down. Or move the camera.
Oh,
cannon
actually,
down.
yeah. No, the recoil will actually cause you to go higher as well. So that's not gonna work for shooting. Because if you can shoot at least level, you can like just kind of deal with it by always making sure your level or higher. But if you can't even shoot level, then you are not in a good situation. But we can move it up one.
Yay!
Do you have the elbows?
Which one? Oh, they just
It's
call.
a syndicate part. It'd be in the badge exchange if you don't have it.
I'm pretty sure I have it then, but let me double check.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get this at a good angle otherwise. Because you're able to shoot straight down over your shield before when it was on the front, right?
Yep.
Straight down-ish.
Yes, I have the elbow parts.
You'd probably have to check and see if it's better with 2 elbow or the gun mount if you do rear mount it. Yeah, having it on the front is super restrictive too. I don't know, it just does not want to play nice with any of these locations.
Yeah, like the front felt a lot better. But
Well, like you can lift
tis
it up
also what
to
I'm used
there.
to. So
Mind you, that doesn't protect it with the plow. I mean, it's kind of the plow in the cabin. So the base is still protected. Somebody's speaking to me in Spanish in the stream, but alas, I do not speak Spanish.
uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Having it on the front just kind of seemed to be a liability a lot of the time, didn't it?
I want to say that I lose the generator more and then lose the gun more often than not. It has definitely been shut off. But I want to say it's generator usually.
Yeah. Remind you too, it's the sort of thing where it's simple enough to move it back. Because there's like literally only one spot on the front where it works. Because otherwise if you move it back, it locks up its ability to aim up.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to build it with the intention of keeping it like able to use both ways.
Okay.
And then you can kind of play around and see what situation works best.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that 2x6 gap is unfortunate. As is having to wrap the frames if you put them anywhere else. Oh, it sucks. Because, like, if this was moved over, like, literally by one. It would be beautiful and centered. But then that frame isn't connected to the cabin, so you'd have to loop around the front or back. That causes just so many issues.
Yikes, I see.
But it would have been great, because then this would have been 3 wide, and you could have tucked the other stuff sideways.
So close. Okay.
The devs, those silly heads, don't allow that. I guess too, to be fair, we can also just connect the things like that. Like, it looks dumb, but it also doesn't interfere with other frames. Ugh, I hate the new hitboxes on the augers.
Devs don't like melee?
I mean,
Yeah, no.
the community doesn't like melee. And they're justified.
A good combat method? Recommend it? Self?
Oh, said yes to elbows. It's unfortunate that there's no pips here to connect to stuff, because that would have been grand.
I'm gonna go with I can't make it too easy.
Yeah, well, what I'm thinking too is if we push it out like that, I mean, this really doesn't help anything, but it does let you tuck stuff underneath a little bit easier.
Okay.
Because then we have a nice little 2x2x4 nook for the iris and radio. And then you can basically just put the giggle wherever.
Okay.
If you ran these vertical, I still don't think you'd be able to fit them in the back. Because the other option would be doing that. Then, yeah, the giggle doesn't fit. Though theoretically you could do that and then also lift this up one, but if you're lifting it up one, you might as well just have it partially connected to the cabin too, which kind of makes the whole elbow thing redundant. And then it's completely exposed on top of the cabin, which is kind of what I'm trying to avoid. I don't actually think this is going to be any worse for aiming straight down though, because I think you're actually blocked by the plow on the front too. Yeah, this is actually exactly the same forward aim down ability as before.
Wild, okay.
So again, you're using the cabin, like the top of the cabin, as cover, but in theory anybody in front of you would have to shoot like over the cabin and the plow to hit your kaiju.
Yeah.
Which should hopefully make things a little bit harder. Just kind of wish there was a gun mount that was like 3x3x1 because that'd fit perfectly in this spot.
But with it maybe one day. That's the case currently.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, I know there's the power slide gun map, but that thing is absolutely massive. Plus, you probably don't have it because it's a Lunatic Prestige.
It's gonna be a yes on that one. I don't got any of the Prestige parts yet.
Yeah. Oh, but then your engine is shootable from the front. Oh man. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those things where everything is off by like 1 pip again.
Good time. Sounds like it, yeah. Seems to happen in
Mm-hmm. I mean, at least we can tuck the iris and stuff behind the plow, and that's not a potential issue this time. And then you could slap these vertically. And then have the geagle maybe fit. Nope. What about the gun mount? Also nope. Wow. Best laid plans, I tell you.
Could extend in the back a little help at all?
Yeah, that would be that, or we could be Goofy Goobers. And do that. But I'm not sure that's necessarily the route you want to go. But it does protect it, so. Guess it's kind of dependent on how adverse you are to having stuff underhanging, but we could do that with the explosives too. And then you could have a rift to like get rid of your fuel.
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting.
The potential negative here is you do have, like, obviously the things can get shot from the back and they can be flame pooled. And if you lose your giggle, you also lose your charge. If you lose your charge, you also lose your giggle, but that's just granted how it goes anyway because that seems to be the priority. Or actually maybe not, I don't think it is. Let's find out. I think maybe, like I know you can't use the kaiju either way, but I'm wondering if it will still give you the bonus of the giggle. So we're going over 60. So if I remove that, yeah, so it looks like you keep your giggle operational.
Okay.
If you have the Jenny popped. Kind of unfortunate still, because like stuff is still sticking out by like 1 pip on either side, so theoretically if somebody was like up in your face they could shoot around the plow and shoot the stuff, or if they kill the plow then they can shoot the stuff.
Oh, rough. Is there any like small blocks we could toss over it?
Yeah, well there's like any number of stuff you could slap on to protect it. Thing is, if people like know that stuff's there, there's not going to be a whole lot to, you know, stop them.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's see. Can actually shove you up. Or I guess even shove you back. Do you have any preference either way for if it's back or forward slanted?
Oh, I don't think so, no.
Okay. Do it like that, I guess. Just based on if you lose your... Like, if you're getting shot in the lower butt anyway, you're pretty much in a losing situation, I think.
Okay.
But that lets you get rid of your fuel on demand.
Okay. We'll just have to remember not to click it in the wrong place.
Yeah. I mean, heck, you could even slap the iris and radio down there if you want, but I don't know if you'd consider that advantageous or not.
It could probably be good too.
Good to what?
I think they're good above.
Yeah. Well, if I can fit the radio there. Nice. So the good news is you're basically guaranteed to never lose the radio now.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's good.
Knowledge is power.
Exactly.
So then...
Oh!
Hmm?
Lay radar on the build, is that possible, or is it considered
For what? What radar? Like you're talking about just the spinny one? The normal one?
I have the... Like,
wall
yeah,
hack?
because I believe that one, but, yes. Like, I do have a wall hack, but I believe that costs energy. I don't think that there's a lot of that left over.
Yeah, you could do that if you had the gas gen. Currently your build is literally... You need a Jenny anyway to run the kaiju with the heavy cabin. And then slapping on the Geagle, cause speed, cause augers.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, you don't have any energy left. Not really sure where you'd want to put the iris though. But I mean, like on the plus side still, this has, like I said, everything otherwise tucked underneath. So I'm trying to think if there's a way you could have the iris underneath but not. Well, I guess no. It would be kind of... Do you have two rifts or just one? Regan?
Yeah, I'm just checking. It looks like I only have the one. They are like 300 though, so I could try and pick one up.
Yeah, well, it would be really janky, but you could, and also really prone to error, but you could have like a 2-stage detachment by, or I guess you just have it as the same. Slapping another rift in between these two. No, actually, you don't even really need them. You just space this, and then you'd have the iris tucked underneath as well.
Oh, okay.
But that gives us icky numbers because it's no longer power of 2.
Less okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the potential benefit is actually you could do without that, and since we've lifted the thing at the back up, you could have a scope now, I think, without interfering. Oh, that definitely interferes. Ah. If you only shoot straight and level, you could
Sweet,
use this
okay.
scope. I mean, you have like a little bit of down, but I kind of have my doubts that that's how you'd want to use the scope.
Could work. I have some concerns, but could.
Yeah. What else could you do? Oh, I hate this. I hate how this is just 1 pip from perfection. You move it down 1 and it's tucked beautifully and the gun mounts are on the ground.
So close.
Beautiful.
Can scope, is there any way to mount it underneath the cabin maybe?
You cut out. You're saying undermount the scope?
Yeah.
You can, but the problem is it shifts viewpoint. So you'd have to have it unobstructed underneath, and then when you aim in, your viewpoint goes underneath. So if you're sniping and you're behind some cover, then all of a sudden you're looking at ground level, which is like it's going to be. So
rough. I see.
likely to be problematic. That being said, the
Sounds
benefit
like
of the iris is that you can mount that anywhere, and it just increases your zoom.
Okay.
I think in an ideal world you get the advanced scope, the neutrino, since it highlights enemies in white and it also gives you highlighting their explosives. But again, I'm not so sure where you'd put that on this build. Like, I had it in a different place, but I was also running a completely different cabin, you know?
Yeah, okay.
So, unless you are super, like, really wanting the kaiju to be on the bastion, it might be a better idea to just run something else anyway.
Okay. I'm open to it.
But you're gonna trade off a lot of like durability and tanking is the big one.
Yeah.
I use the Omni box, which gives you 15% weapon reloading for the same power score, and you have an extra energy.
Okay.
But I made a spider out of that. But the cool thing is you can kind of do the same thing as the bastion, where you can attach it on top behind the cabin.
Okay.
And on it, it actually lets you look down a little bit.
Very nice. I see.
So that's actually the same angle you had with the bastion, and then you have an extra energy. But you do lose mass, and you obviously lose the 50% damage resistance to anything hitting your plow. I mean, it's kind of the sort of thing, like, the bastion will work really, really well as long as you can stay away from people. But, like, if you're going to continually get flanked anyway, then your bastion perk isn't doing anything, you know?
Yeah. I think the bastion would work for now, and then can always relook at things later. Yeah, I think it'd be good to stick with the bastion.
Yeah, well, and you have the benefit of having all the Steppenwolf parts now, so.
Very true.
Bigger thing is with the mass limit, you can't really fill all this space. Although that's not necessarily a negative, I suppose, because you're also going to have more armor density. So if we just ignore the iris for a minute. Like you can do that and have all your side armor hidden, more or less, hidden behind the plow.
Okay.
Problem is having your armor tight in general tends to be a disadvantage. Thus the whole spaced armor meta thing, but...
Well, depending on what power score, I don't want to say, or I want to say we don't really have...
Well, the problem isn't the whole, like, you running into spaced armor with this, so much as, like, there's a reason people space their armor.
Yeah.
And this can't benefit from that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be, I think... I'll have to think on that one, actually.
Yeah. You can also use lighter armor, of course, to take up more space.
Okay.
Crane parts are super pog.
The best.
Because you do that, which looks pretty decent. You are gonna go over mass that way, though.
That's okay.
Well, not really.
It's manageable. It's manageable. We'll say that does look pretty fire, though.
I guess actually a better way to do it might be... This is very much form over function at the moment.
Okay.
But you could... And then that probably would not put you over mass.
Okay, I can dig it.
Or even just throw it down another layer if need be, which looks like it's the case. But you end up sacrificing a lot of mass to it either way. So it's not like a terrible thing having all your like side armor like you have. It's mostly just like throwing out the explosive parts of your upper armor that I was focusing on.
Okay. Yeah, I kept a lot of those in fairly easy to read.
Theoretically, you could try and tuck stuff in one, but because we now have stuff in between the frames, you can't really do that.
Okay.
Because if you can squish two, like one on either side, then your stuff would be protected. But again, we have the issue with the off-centered auger, amongst others, and then you're dealing with like odd number for frame counts. So I'm not so sure that's the solution either.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good time.
This would probably be usable though.
Alrighty, I'd be sure.
Mind you, this is also with 0 decor. And already at the power score threshold.
That's okay, I didn't have the core on the last version.
Well, I mean, that's also not necessarily a good thing.
Keeping it consistent.
I mean, you could probably do without the flails, because I don't think you're generally able to ram people with the corners, right?
Yeah, no, they're probably fine.
Yeah, I don't know. But then at the same time, they only have to chew through like 540 durability to dismount your kaiju. So I'm not actually so sure that this ends up changing anything for the better.
Can at least give her a go and then see what happens, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's the benefit of me making it more or less interchangeable currently. Everything's so close to fitting perfectly together, as per usual.
Oh!
Oh, I totally forgot to buy the gingerbread paint.
Oh!
I mean, not that anyone's necessarily going to sell it, but...
It's a pretty fire print paint.
There you go. With the power of 45 minutes of our time, we've managed to leave the gun exactly where it originally was and tuck the stuff underneath.
Yay, iteration!
Hate running 3 augers, man. It's so close to being good without actually being good.
Can make it 4.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, no, augers are the...
Augers are the what?
Can be the big mean challenger.
Yeah. Well, and I don't really know how you'd go about making the under area more, like, hidden. Because you kind of have very few options.
Yeah, like I would assume, or my suggestion would just like adding in, what are they called? Like the, what are they? The big, stuff that's on the front of my build currently. Blocking them in the back as well, but...
These? Or are you talking about flails? Because I did take those off.
train plow. Oh my.
Wow, power
and like
score and dads.
yeah, but would be adding those to block off the back of it.
Well, like I said too, it's like just wide enough where like they can poke around them already currently.
Yeah.
Everything is so close. Like if we squeezed it in one on each side, things would I think look a lot better, but rather limited in the ability to do that while keeping it neat.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, the biggest thing is then, like, you instead of having 4 wide and 4 wide for frames, you'd have 3 wide and 3 wide at best, which doesn't really work because you can't squish this in one because they're already as low as they can go, or as tight as they can go with the augers. So you'd have to position this one more over to the right, and then squish, and then you only have 2 wide over here. And then again, this auger would have to be off-centered. And so then you have to wrap frames again. So I just don't know what or if there is a good answer. Oh man, augers are so frustrating to work with now. Honestly, just for the sake of cleaning this up too, I'm just gonna say slapping iris at the back bottom. So you lose it if you lose your fuel, but if you're detaching your fuel, I don't think you're sniping anybody anyway.
You're right, I would be detaching my fuel. No,
well,
that makes sense.
like I'm getting at, you wouldn't be detaching fuel unless there were already people a lot closer than you want them to be, right?
Yeah.
So I can probably center this one. How would I reset this? Push it one that way. 3 that way, which is not going to connect to the other one. Or yes it will, I'm just bad at math. As per usual. Okay. Yeah, it sucks too, because it feels like you should be able to fit stuff on the front there. And they're just like, nah, bro.
Not very nice of them.
Illegal.
Meanies.
Like, look at that. You're telling me this is not a 2x2x3 gap. It's insane.
You heard the devs.
Like, it's like just like a whisker over.
You
Just
heard the devs.
Bullies.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if there's a quote-unquote right answer to this situation in general. To a certain degree, of course, everything is just like, do the best with what you got.
As a start, I think it's probably fine to leave as is. Like in theory, if we get to a point where it's expanding to the 10,000 lobbies, at that point, always look at adding a 4th auger and doing it then, and getting it cleaned up, sort of idea.
Perfect. Well, if you're going over 10,000, it's just basically go big instead of go home. So you would very much be looking at like probably just going like for max power score.
Let's see.
Oh boy, and that doesn't work. But that does. Haha. Well, I think it'll be pretty obvious that there's stuff there for them to shoot if they want, but hoping that's not the case, especially because it's going to be pretty down low for peeps to be shooting at, methinks. Plus, they generally, I think, don't like sticking around your front.
I try me, yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think they purposely go for the front, but at least that I recall.
Yeah. I mean, I like how it kind of worked out overall as far as getting everything shunted underneath. Obviously, some concerns with some of the stuff, but oh, that's not where you're supposed to be. Who knows? Might not actually end up being any better. It is significantly like better fitting within the constraint, so you get more durability, takes up less parts, takes up less mass, gives you more speed, and then you can
even
still
better.
slap
Okay.
on the decor. So in theory, everything like about the physical stats are better. It's just going to be a question of if this ends up being more secure for like keeping you alive.
Okay.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is that tucking explosives underneath might not prevent people from blowing them up, but it should make them a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah. Well, we can always just play it and see what's happening, and then go.
Yeah. It looks like the Bastion plow might not actually be meshed properly either. Like, it looks like it might not be tight, because I'm shooting there, and it's not hitting the Geagle or the frame, it's still hitting the Bastion. So I think its hitbox sticks out as far as the plow, rather than like having this corner cut out. So I guess in theory it's actually working as more of a like more protection than I'd expect. Like, mind you, if I am all the way down, it's probably, like, it's still gone, but
Yeah.
c'est la vie. The idea is that you're hopefully shooting back enough at them for it not to matter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give it a try, I guess. Like I said, it's the thing where, yeah, you just basically swap out these small APC panels with your elbows or gun mount, push them up one, and then mount this at the back. Or you could even, in theory, if you wanted to try it with it behind, but like not able to aim down, but you've obviously been said that you don't like it, and yeah, if you literally can't even shoot at the horizon without the recoil shooting up, I can understand where you're coming from with that. So this could work out better, maybe.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll give her a shot. Thank you.
I wonder if this would look any better if it was like flat instead. I think I like that better.
Ooh, that is pretty spicy. That is nice. Yeah, that's good.
So your options being one side or the other, but I like the profile of this one on the left, because then you have like most of the armor hit like tucked behind the plow, and then you sort of have like the soft curve matching the auger on the side.
I was about to say it looks like it was very much just a part of the auger, which I like. Sort of like just a cap or a top on it.
So doth it spark joy?
Does
Augers, man, fuck.
the
So
best, right? So
problematic.
fun. Easy to build with stuff. Yeah, no, I recall trying to do a handful of things with augers in the past and it just causing a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this on the exhibition, and then I'm gonna like show the other stuff. I would recommend probably using Falcon with this, by the by.
Okay.
Because this gives you the effect of the neutrino when you stare at people, of letting you see their explosives. Oh, but they have to be within radar range, so you're actually probably going to need to slap on the other stuff anyway. But yeah, very nice for sniping. Plus, you're generally going to be looking directly at them, except at like extreme ranges.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have Falcon yet, and still got a bit of a ways to go to unlocking him.
Right. Well, I'm just saying long term. Do you have an RD1 listener? It's the blue spinny radar.
Yes, I do.
So if you're not sad about not having decor, this puts you at 9993.
Ooh, and that looks real nice back there.
Yeah, I mean it's clipping through stuff, but it fits pretty well.
Part of the fun. Yeah, I'm not jacked about having decor. I think that works.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, if somebody gets by you, that's the first thing that gets fucking shot. But at the same time, if you're scoped in and all of a sudden all the red triangles go away, it's because somebody blew up your butt.
I don't know, someone's behind me.
Yeah. Well, and I think
Warning
the big
system.
thing too is, like I said, getting comfortable with using it at pretty far ranges, because obviously it goes pretty slow in general. But that's just heavy cabins.
Yeah.
Because if people are standing still and trying to like counter snipe or whatever, like, it's very easy to land an entire volley and a dummy amount of damage. And then as soon as somebody just starts coming towards your direction, you can basically like full throttle backwards while still charging.
Yeah.
Because again, if they get beside you or behind you, you're basically covered. So that's sort of the avoid if at all possible situation. Also too, I saw you were trying to maneuver people when they were like beside you. By like trying to drive around them. You can't do that because you're not fast enough, but you can just spin in place a lot faster than they can generally drive.
Oh, okay, sweet, thank you. I can give that a shot next time.
Yeah, because like your center of mass is almost perfectly balanced. It's not going to work as well as it could just because of that third middle auger not actually being centered. But yeah, it should be a lot easier, especially since obviously the kaiju has atrocious turn speed, especially when it's charged.
Yeah.
Because trying to like shoot somebody like this would be really fucking hard. And if you try actually going the opposite direction, you literally can't. You get
rough. Yikes.
beat up.
I'm gonna go with still better than the world, but
literally not. There's also always the oppressor engine for that, so.
True.
Alright, I will eat on exhibition.
Thank you, I will.
From the exhibition.
That's the one.
And then in an ideal world.
Ideal world.
I'm just centering the auger.
Oh, I see.
Be beautiful, really. I mean, it'd be terrible, but so beautiful too.
Close. I'm ready. I'm
Then
excited.
The stuff centered. And we get a spin even faster.
Oh, turbo.
Like,
I'm ready.
it's wonderful. Like, it even lets you do your, like, drive turn faster significantly.
That looks real spicy. Yeah.
And it looks better, and then if we wanted to, say, push everything in one, then it would be so much easier to do that.
Spicy. I'm here for it.
And then all of your internals are protected by the plow. And just good times all around.
I was about to say, yeah, sort of sounds like it.
And then you just slap on the gas gen instead. A wanton disregard for people trying to blow you up.
Sounds like a pretty good time.
It is quite possibly the best time.
Oh my.
To man.
Well, I guess I better go buy a gas gen.
Well, I mean, this has its own host of problems, as I've been pretty vocal about methinks. But, like, can literally just shove all that stuff up. Yeet. Question what it's stuck on. You're killing me, game. I know it fits in there. Well, the top armor looks kind of dumb, but otherwise it's beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. Very nice.
Gonna straight up pull a as seen on TV commercial. There has to be a better way. I'm sure
ready.
This is not the final position where the Giga would end up, but I don't know. I'd find some way to clean up the back, but like, it's unfair how much more like compact and good looking this is.
Very true. Yeah, no, it's pretty spicy.
But the big problemski. Being a little something like this. If that frame goes, there goes literally all your augers. So all a dog has to do is be like, oh, tasty, launch, there's 2 of your augers gone. Launch, there's all of your augers gone.
It's only a problem if they hit, right? I'm speed with this build. Can't catch me.
Yeah. I guess theoretically you could try like wrapping the front instead, but I do not think that would be particularly effective.
Yeah. No, I'd have some concerns, that's for sure.
But it looks so good. So anyway, that's probably the ideal shooty form.
Okay. One day. Yeah, it looks pretty fly. Could see. Aiming towards that.
Or actually, I has an idea. Not necessarily a good one though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, that's ugly.
So close. Could you do the train plow again? The big one?
Well, kind of. It'd be sticking out, and then you just shoot around, which kind of invalidates that entire idea. Or you shunt everything forward, which again kind of like requires the back part of the build to be chopped off or recentered.
Yeah, it's a little odd looking.
Curse you, augers. Curse you, Shooty. So close to greatness, and yet
So
also
far.
impossible. Well, and like theoretically, you could get this to where it's really close to the 10,000 barrier already. So, like, it wouldn't be impossible to just slip underneath it and then not use the spare energy, but then your Jenny is obviously very explosive. I do not think you would want to run the amp here. Because that would be just, like, fire puddle dead.
Yeah, no ampier. Yeah, well, I do got the gas shed now as well, so 'tis an
Oh, you
option
did
on my side.
actually? Alright. Well, yeah, like I mean, yeah. Like I just showed,
Oh,
could definitely...
YOLO.
Wow. Yeah, I'd probably suggest just doing the one I slapped up, like trying that out next,
Yep.
and seeing if that works out for you at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I got that downloaded my side now as well.
That's gonna be because I have been very much playing with fire while doing this. I just had like 3 blueprints in my build history instead of in any save slots.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. It's so good.
It's really, really nice.
It's so close to perfection.
I know, we just take off the giggle and then close at the back and then GG. Easy. All pretty nice, right?
I mean, kind of. The problem, like I said, is just that your entire build being contingent on like 1.5 frames, mostly.
Peeps will understand and be.
Yeah, I mean, like you could wrap it with bumpers, maybe. So it basically becomes a question of like, if you did want to do this, how okay are you with basically saying GG, I'm dead if people get behind you, right?
Yeah, like I think the one you sent over already is probably the best one for right now, and then
it strikes a balance. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if I get like more competent with the build, and like scopes and whatnot, and can like keep my distance and not like rush people, maybe look at doing something with the frames. But I know like how I play currently, like yeah, they'd be out of there very quickly.
Yeah. Well, and I like to think, like I said, if nothing else, just wrapping the explosive underneath the frames will hopefully keep you alive a bit longer. Is basically the big one. Because now getting flanked shouldn't be an immediate death sentence. You're obviously still going to like have the struggles. Likewise, I mean, like you said, with being able to shoot, like you really can't shoot straight behind you either. But
yeah,
at least you can rotate. So
yeah.
I think it's still probably a better build overall than what it was.
I'd agree with that.
Question of if it ends up being the best version of it, I don't know. That's
always a more iteration.
Mm-hmm. Yuck. Raid my ass, as if I'm believing that somebody's going in raids at 8,500 power score. Seems much more likely to see
Like, to be fair, we have seen people in that power score.
Yeah, and a fucking Scorpion, okay. Raids my ass.
Maybe he raids the, brawls,
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope whoever liked the build, which I'm assuming was just you, isn't going to be too torn up with the fact that I deleted it.
How could this happen?
Because I gotta get ColdSoup up there, yo.
Oh, I see.
And then iterate on that at some other point in the future. Because it's still not done.
We struggle. Too many builds.
Yeah. Probably not also topical to the stream. I guess I could probably stand to end that, but there we go. And then I had the Toadfish one, which we were trying out. Honestly, didn't seem to go too bad.
Nah, quite well, especially that first match.
Well, that was mostly just because we had rando cap. And
Still was a
noticed,
very super good match. Got like the 2 kills.
Yeah, way better than I expected.